Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Today's Friday, January 27th. It is 6:21 right now. Market's going to open in about 9 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and then we will get started with our analysis shortly. So just give me a few moments to set this up, and then we should be good to go. All right. Good. Couple more things here to update. All right, everything looks good. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. And we should be good to go. All right, solid. So I got a few moments for people to make their way in. Hey, Valentine, how's it going? Morning. All right, so let's see who's here so far. Hey, Van Hartwig, how's it going? Good morning, happy Friday. Good morning, Rashida. Good morning, Keonia. Good morning, Peter. Good morning, Søren. Good morning, everybody. So guys, happy Friday. Today's Friday, January 27th. It is 6:23 right now. Market's gonna open in about 7 minutes. So it looks like I got pretty much everything set up so far. I just got to post this link on a couple other pages and we should be good to go. Hey, Slava, how's it going? Morning. All right, just posting this up to a few more locations and we should be good to go. Hey, Kenny, how's it going? Good morning. Morning, Jonathan. Morning, Ruin. Morning, Active. Morning, everybody, guys. So one last place for me to post this up, and I think we should be good to go. It's 6:24 right now, so the market's going to open in about 6 minutes. That gives us just enough time for us to go ahead and, obviously analyze everything and get everything all set and ready to go. So. All right, looks good. Let me just post this up real quick on our Instagram page. And we should be good to go. All right. All right, perfect. So let's see who else is here. Morning, Karen. Morning, Christian. Morning, Maria. Morning, everybody, guys. All right, looks like more than half you guys are here so far. So let's go ahead and start analyzing everything. So looking over here on the 10-minute, you can see that price is bullish on the 1 hour, 30-minute, and 10-minute timeframes. And the reason for that is because price is above the pivots. Pivots are angling up, and the trend meter is green across all timeframes, right? So with that said, looks like we will possibly be having a buy for breakout 2.0. As I mentioned, I'm not taking these trades anymore like by itself. I'm not taking it as a standalone entry. I'll probably look at it to see if this is in confluence with the regular breakout and then possibly take it for a partial move, but it's not going to be considered any official entry. The only official entries that we're taking are going to be the three main strategies that we're applying here on the 1 minute, which would be the momentum scalp failure, momentum scalp variation, and momentum scalp. So just keep that in mind, guys. The reason why I don't apply the breakout 2.0 is because it's so risky, right? The only, like the main trades that we've lost from this year, I think we've only had 2 breakouts that we've taken that have lost were from this year. We had 1 regular trade that lost, but other than that, we had about 15 total wins. So, just making sure that I give you guys the highest probable, the trades with the highest probability of winning. I'm going to stick to just these 3 strategies here because The breakout's not for everybody, obviously. Some people who like to gamble, it'll work for them, especially if they don't want to be on the charts for very long. But it's not something that I want to emphasize too much for a majority of the traders. If you guys know what you're doing with the breakout, then go ahead and take it, because you guys will see that a lot of people here are applying the breakout differently from what it's typically supposed to be applied. So if you guys want to take the breakout, sure, I'll mark it up for you guys, but I'm not going to be taking it myself, at least not for the entire move, because 1,500 pips is a big move, and the market doesn't typically move that fast. Well, fast enough for me to get in and out quickly, where I don't get caught in this margin while taking the scalps in between. So I just don't want to eat up my margin taking the breakout 2.0 or the breakout regular, because it's just too big of a move compared to the other scalps that we could be taking in between. I'd rather take more scalps within the move rather than taking one big move for the same profit. All right, let's see who's here. Hey, Hitham, how's it going? Morning, Gary. Rashida said a lot of liquidity on the bottom side. Yeah, I noticed that too. Price pushed up a lot over London session, so we'll see how that pushes on open. Let me check the news real quick, because I believe there was news this morning. So from this morning, there was news over here at 5:30, and we have news at 7. So let me go here to the 1 minute. That's why you can see the market's kind of choppy right here, because there was some news over here this morning. Right there at 5:30. So we got news there, and then we got more news coming up over here at 7 o'clock. 5:30, 7 o'clock. Let me check my FX book real quick. Yeah, I think that's about it. So we got news coming up here at 7 o'clock. We had news at 5:30. Market's going to open in about 2 minutes. So we will see where this ends up going, guys. All right, so market is about to open in about 1 minute, guys. When the market opens, we'll review everything and identify where we may be looking for some entries. So first things first, you want to confirm the trend. Looking over here on the 10-minute, you can see we have a bullish trend across the 10, 5, and 1. Reason for that is because price is above the pivots, trend meter is green on all time frames, and the pivots are angling up. So we have a bullish trend across all the time frames here on the shorter time frames, and we also have a bullish confirmation over here on the higher time frames as well. So if you guys are taking the breakout 2.0, I will mark it up for you guys right here. But again, as I mentioned, I'm not going to be taking this trade myself. So it's up to you guys. If you guys want to take it at your own risk. I'm going to use a 1,000 pip TP stop loss here because the volatility isn't as high as it was the previous days. You can see here that the range here is not even past 1,000 pips. So I'll be marking up the breakout 2.0 right there if you guys want to take it, but I'm not going to necessarily be taking myself. Market is now open, guys. So there we go with the breakout 2.0. Charles is asking, are we still using the 300 pip TP stop loss? So it depends on the market conditions, Charles. If the market's moving, if it's very volatile, then we're going to use a 25.50. But if it's moving slowly, then we'll use a 100, 300. So it's between a 1030 and a, so I'll put the requirements up here so you can see, Charles. So here's the requirements right here. So it says use 100, 300 or 200, 500 TP stop loss based on market movement. So like, for example, if we have say we have a sell entry right here, right? I know this isn't a sell entry, but I'm just going to mark it up so that you can see. Say, for example, we have a sell entry here. Like if the market's moving like this, then we're probably not going to use a 300 pip stop loss, right? Because it's too close. If the market's moving like that, then we're going to use a 25 or 250, 500. So it just depends on the market conditions. Depending on how the market's moving, that's how we'll determine, how big of a TP stop loss we'll be using. Because sometimes the market will be moving very slow. So we can't really use like a plug and play type TP stop loss like we normally do, because right now the volatility is very high. Sometimes it'll be super high, sometimes it'll be very slow. So we just change in between. And then in some instances, if it starts to die down after entry, then we could always make adjustments. But yeah, before the entry, I'll typically let you guys know, because I'll measure it and I'll see how far away is it from TP or stop loss. And then we'll make adjustments, whether we want to make it wider or whether we want to make it tighter. So, all right, guys, market is open. You guys can see there's no clear direction right here. Price is pretty much going back and forth. which is typical for a Friday. So don't worry, guys. You know, as I mentioned before in the past, Friday and Mondays are like the riskiest days to trade. You're typically going to see a lot of these spiky movements. For one, we had inflation news this morning, I believe. Let me check real quick. Yeah, so for this morning over here, we had core price or core PCE price index, personal income, personal spending, some basically inflation news this morning right here. That was high impact. It was pretty neutral, but price still kind of spiked around a bit. And then we have pending home sales over here at 7. I'm expecting this to be negative because, you know, we are going to this recession. So we'll see how that ends up playing out. Yeah, no, I see that right there, Rashida. Rashida said that 1 minute breakout looks like a sell, but she said never mind. Yeah, I don't think, well, I mean, it's kind of choppy right here, right? So I'm like waiting for it to like smoothen out a bit. The problem with the breakout too as well, Rashida, is that there's so many sessions right here, right? So you guys can see right here on the bottom that price got super manipulated, right? This, let me just fix this a little bit. So see how price came down right here? It came down to the sessions and it faked out. It did the same thing right here prior. That's why you don't trade at these sessions over here. So like right here, price came down, faked out, shot all the way back up. Price came down right here, faked out, and shot all the way back up. It did the same thing about 3, 4, 5 times, right? Bunch of fake outs right there. So that's a clear example why we don't apply or we don't take any trades at the sessions, because you can see again right here, price is starting to fake out a third time, right? Or a fifth time, I guess, if you count all of them together. It's just not a good area to trade specifically because you see movements like this and it's just not worth the risk. So we're just waiting for a confirmation, guys. We still don't have a confirmation of overall trend. I mean, over here it was bullish on open, but then now it's bearish again. So if depending on where price goes, like looking over here on the higher time frames, we're waiting for price to either stay below here so that we can look for sells. Or if price corrects back up, then we're just going to wait for it to come back up here to look for buys, right? So there's no confirmation of direction yet. The first requirement for pretty much all strategies is going to be the confirmation of trend, which we obviously don't have yet. So we'll keep watching. But looking over here on the higher time frames, you guys can see that price is kind of rejecting off the pivots, right? So I'm expecting this to possibly correct and just swing right back up. The 1 hour here is probably the messiest. So you can see over here on the 1 hour, if I go ahead and maximize this, this is probably the messiest time frame. You can see here that price, it's been trying to push down for a long time. You can see for the past 3 hours, it's been like huge wicks on the top side. So price has been trying to push down for a long time, but it hasn't had any luck actually pushing down. So what might happen here is this might just reverse all the way right back up. We got to wait for the news to come up at 7. I think the news is really going to push price one direction or the other, because this happened right here, you know, pre-market news. Price kind of spiked down, but it never actually came below. So just looking over here on the higher time frames, like if you guys look from a top-down analysis, basically that's why I have 2 different sets here. If you guys look at my sets of analysis here, I have the higher time frames here, the 10-minute, 30-minute, and 1 hour to see the bigger picture. And then I have the shorter time frames over here, the 1, 5, and 10 to see where's price going to be leading, right? Because typically price will be leading or it'll be following on the shorter time frames. If price is going to reverse, it's going to start to reverse on these lower time frames before it follows on the 1 hour. However, if the 1 hour is already leading, which it typically does, then these shorter time frames here are going to follow that, right? So as you guys can see here, price is bouncing off the pivots on the 1 hour, 30-minute, and 10-minute over here. Pretty much it's the same pattern across the board, right? Rejection off the pivot, rejection off the pivot, rejection off the pivot, right? So if the higher time frames over here are leading, these shorter time frames are going to follow. So you can see our price is starting to push to the upside. You know, I'm probably expecting it to push up to like the opening price right there, which it just did. So, you know, is price going to hold or is price going to weaken? I mean, who knows, right? We really don't know where price is going to go from this point. So it's really just going to be a matter of just waiting and anticipating for the confirmation. So until price pushes above here and holds, then we'll start looking for some buys there. But until that happens, you know, we don't really have much to go off of here. But from what I'm seeing here on the higher time frames, it looks like price is attempting to correct back to the upside. It's just going to be a matter of time until it does. So as price pushes up, I may take some speculative moves here and there. I was trying to hop into one right here to catch it back to open, but I missed it. You guys have seen me do that over the past couple of weeks because we typically know where price is going, right? If we know where price is going, we can go ahead and just like pull that to the upside and then go for a quick, 100 pips here and there. But only if you guys know what you're doing. I don't recommend anybody should do that unless you like absolutely know what you're doing. Because something like this can happen where price will just spike all the way back down, right? So what I do recommend is just wait for these entries to come up. These entries have not come up yet. The ones that we're looking for here on the 1 minute. Let me go ahead and just maximize the screen over here, and then I'll show you guys what we're looking for again. So here are the strategies that we're looking for. These strategies come in order: momentum scalp failure, momentum scalp variation, and momentum scalp, right? In order for us to have entries for these strategies here, we first need to confirm the overall trend. As you guys can see, there's no confirmation of overall trend yet. The 10 minute here, I mean, it's still technically bullish here on the 10, but the 5 minute over here is no longer confirming, right? It's just right down the middle. So this is neutral. This is bullish because price is above the pivots, trend meter is green, pivots are angling up. The 5 minute over here is neutral because price is in between the pivots, trend meter is blue, pivots are somewhat angling sideways. They're not really angling up or down. And the 1 minute over here, there's just nothing here as well. You can see price is kind of just right down the middle. It's not really doing too much. And what's really happening here on the 1 minute, as you guys can see, is that price just keeps getting, it just spikes in between the sessions over here. And then it just ends up coming right back in the other direction, right? So for example, here you can see price comes down to the sessions, it bounces off, price came up to the sessions up here, it bounced off. That's why we don't like to trade around these, we don't really like to trade around these horizontal lines. Basically, all these horizontal lines right here are red flags. Whenever price gets near these areas, I just don't take any trades. What I was trying to take earlier, what I was mentioning, and this is only something that, this is a very advanced way to trade, is since I saw the rejections over here off the pivots, I was attempting to try to get in and ride this up to the opening price, because this is always going to, like, opening price is always going to be target price point if you're looking for a correction, right? Because we see everything over here correcting to the upside. I mean, there's no confirmation it's going to hold, but there's if you were to assume, you would assume that price would reach the opening price right there. So like if I'm going for a quick little scalp, I'm going for like quick 100 pips here and there. But this is only recommended for people who actually know what they're doing. Like if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you should just not even listen and just focus on these entries right here. So this is just an advanced way of scalping. At some point, you guys will understand how to do this type of trading. It's very speculative, and it's not necessarily something that you can apply using a rule-based type strategy, because it's very subjective. Like whenever you see a type of movement where price is pushing to the upside, like if you're looking for a reversal pattern, you can use that as a confluence, but it's not something that you can just like, okay, if this meets and this meets and this meets and take the trade. It's something where you kind of just got to catch it as it pushes up. But anyways, there's no confirmation of trend right now. So that's basically what we're waiting for right now, guys. Once we can confirm that everything is either bullish or bearish, we'll start looking for trades in that direction. But until then, we just don't have anything for us to take at the moment. So just got to sit tight. Yeah, there's like no direction right now at all with regard to price. This thing's really spiky. You can see here on the 1 minute, this is like a clear example of like no direction. Because typically market open, well, so market open right here at 6:30. Usually when the market opens, it pushes in one direction, whether it be up or whether it be down. So this right here, 6:30, typically price will push up heavily, and then it'll just, or this is like typically what happens in either direction. Price will push up, retrace, and continue. Or if it's going the other direction, price will drop below, retrace, and continue, right? But you can see right here that there's nothing going on. Price is really just going back and forth, like bouncing erratically up and down. So yeah, exactly. Charles said it's definitely waiting for news. And I agree too. We have news over here coming up at 7 o'clock, which is in about 19 minutes. It's pretty much just going back and forth until news happens right here. And then it's going to spike one way or the other. The news for at 7 o'clock is pending home sales. So this news right here, I wouldn't necessarily base the direction of price or like where you plan on trading, whether if this is positive or negative, because I think overall it's going to be negative since we're going to a recession, right? Not a lot of people are buying homes right now. Homes are like going at an all-time, not price wise, but the a number of homes that are being sold are going for like an all-time low right now because people just don't have money to buy, or people are just worried about what's going to happen in the next couple months or next couple of years where they're not putting money into a home. So I'm expecting this to be overall negative. It might be positive here because you can see that from last year, it was negative 4%. They're expecting the forecast for this year or for this month to be negative 1%, but this isn't necessarily still a good thing, right? It's still negative. It's not positive. So that's just something to keep in mind. Okay, so I took a speculative trade right here, guys. I was mentioning earlier what I was looking for. This trade is not going to count towards any of the results or anything like that. This is just going to be towards my personal profits, right? This is a question that I got yesterday. Someone asked me, the profits that I post through the emails, are those going to be counted towards results? The answer to that is no, because they're not official trades. The only trades that count towards results are official trades, meaning one of these three strategies right here. So I do post my results every day because obviously you guys want to see what I'm doing on my own personal accounts, but I'm not necessarily counting those towards results because they're not official entries. So nice. Yeah, Natasha said I took it too, Sean, but only for 100 pips. I did the same thing, Natasha. So what happened over here was when price broke back above here, I had a buy stop just waiting here. And this is only because as I anticipated, I said when price rejects or corrects back to the upside, because I saw the rejection here, I was expecting it to push to at least 100 pips. So what happened was I put my buy stop somewhere around this area. It just automatically triggered because I was looking at my MT4. It filled and then it went straight to my TP. So Maria got it. Natasha got it. Nice work, guys. But it's not an official entry, so it's not a big deal if you guys didn't catch it. I'm pretty sure majority of people didn't catch it because it's not necessarily what I would consider a safe trade or even an actual trade at all. It's kind of just speculation. But anyways, if price stays above here, we're going to have a bullish confirmation. So this is perfect, exactly what we were waiting for. You can see here on the 10-minute, price is above the pivots, trend meters green, pivots are angling up. This is a bullish trend. Same with the 5-minute over here, price is above the pivots, trend meters green, and the pivots are angling up. On top of that, we have a buy signal right here on the 10 and 5. So that's going to confirm a bullish confirmation across the board. Here on the 1-minute, we also have price above the pivots, trend meter green, etc. So looking over here at the momentum scalp failure, the first requirement's met, confirm overall trend on the 1-minute, 5-minute, and 10-minute timeframes, which is bullish. On number 2 over here, you want to confirm retracement momentum signal on the 1-minute. So we're looking for a sell signal to come up right here on the 1. Once that confirms, then we can look to confirm whether volume is below average. And once we've confirmed that, we can take a buy here for a momentum scalp failure. If you guys remembered, I typically don't take this first entry. I use this as an initial confluence. So like usually I'll wait for this to play out. Once it plays out, this trade follows immediately right after. So when this trade does come up, I usually enter on this. And this is like almost a guaranteed hit, like every time we take it. So that's why I'm looking for that there as well. I'm going to go ahead and take a screenshot of my profit so far, guys, for the day, just to show you guys where I'm currently at. And for the week so far, because we haven't had any losses this week. So it's been a pretty great week. For me personally, I think it should be a great week for you guys too. Even though we didn't really have too many trades. So here are all my accounts. Let me just post it in the group real quick, just to show you guys that speculative trade that I took. Eventually you guys will understand how to take that trade, but until you guys are ready, I don't recommend taking it. Just, stick to the basics and stick to what we've been typically applying here. The breakout 2.0 is still running. If you guys are in this position, I'm not in this position. This is the confluence that I use for entry on this one here. So everything here is kind of lined up. I saw the rejection right here, saw the rejection right here, saw the rejection right there. The breakout 2.0 is still running. So I was like, okay, if I'm going to go for 100 pips, I'm going to hit it at some point, right? So it did hit right there, but there's no confirmation of any other entries yet. So we're basically looking for a sell signal to come up here. I'll turn on my alerts so that we can be alerted once we get a sell signal here. But until then, it's just going to be a bit of a waiting game. iPhone said, so it's better to wait for news before jumping in, right? Yeah, well, if we see an entry here, like if an entry came up like right now, then we could possibly take it because it's like, 14 minutes till news. But yeah, if the entry doesn't come up anytime soon, then it's probably best to wait for news to pass because price is probably going to react to news. So Yeah, yes and no, but if it doesn't come up anytime soon, which is what I'm assuming here, it doesn't look like we're going to get an entry anytime soon. We probably want to wait until the news passes. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them out. A couple profits over here. So here's my accounts. Made 1,560 off my main account, 1,360 off my second account, 810 off my MFFs, all three accounts, and then my TFF made about 1,000. Narith over here too, he took the buys as well. So it looks like, so you guys can see here the people who know what they're doing, right, with regard to these speculative moves. Or it looks like Narith here took part of the breakout too, because you can see his timestamps here. He took this at 631, 632, 636, and then this last entry right here, which is the one that I took. He took it for a total profit of 2,425 for the day. Nice work, Narith. And then we got Keone over here. Sorry. We got Keone over here. Total profit of 79.20 on this account, and then 67.20 on this account. So nice work on both of our accounts. Some solid profits. We got Slava over here as well. Slava locked in 1,683 on this account. Nice work, Slava. And then his second account over here, he locked in a total profit of 1,527 for the day. Solid work, Slava. And then Slava's third account over here, 2,151, killing it today. Nice work, Slava. Good work for a Friday, right? A lot of these are just speculative moves, unless you guys are taking the breakout 2.0, which is still currently running in profit right now. As you can see, it's almost at full TP right there for 1,000 pips. So if you guys are in this position, I do recommend moving your stop loss in profit. I'm not in this position, so this trade is not going to count towards the results. It's just one trade that I shared with you guys so that you guys can take it if you guys wanted to, because I know some of you guys like to take the breakout. Man, I wonder if Steven's here. Is Steven here right now? Steven is not here. The one day Steven misses, the breakout like plays out perfectly. I feel like Steven's like he's like a I don't want to say a bad luck charm, but he's like the days that he doesn't show up, it hits, and then when the days that he does show up, it doesn't work. You got to use the Steven indicator. Steven is an indicator. So whenever you guys are on the Zoom, check the chat to see if Steven's in here. I feel bad for the guy though, because he was like so excited to take a breakout yesterday, and he didn't even take it properly. He took the wrong breakout. And then today it plays out perfectly, but he's not even here. It's all good. I mean, he'll find a stride. I think he, like, the thing with Steven, if you guys remember Steven from the, I think everybody here knows Steven, right? Like before Steven had like a win streak, he didn't lose a trade, like a breakout for like nearly 2 months because he followed the directions. Like whenever I said to move stop loss and profit, he moved stop loss and profit, and he was doing great. But then when he started doing his own thing, he started to blow accounts like left and right. Like it was crazy because he got funded, and then immediately as soon as he got his funded login, he tried to trade himself, and then he blew the funded account within like minutes. And he was never able to really recover from that. And it's unfortunate because it happens with a lot of people. If you guys pass the challenge and you get funded, just continue to do what you guys did to get funded, right? Because if you guys just continue the process, it's inevitable that you'll just continue to make payouts and you'll continue to stay consistent. But if you guys change up your game plan as soon as you get funded, it's just going to throw everything off because you guys are doing something completely different. So breakout 2.0 is still running right now, guys. It's almost at full TP. There's still no confirmation over here on the shorter time frames, but once we get a retracement here, we can look for entry for the momentum scalp failure, which would be the this one right here. Yeah, Slava said, I remember when I got first TFF accounts, I blew them in 2 hours. Yeah, no. TFF is different though. So you guys remember I passed TFF like within a couple of days, a long time ago, and I got funded. But as soon as I got funded, they put me on a brand new server and they screwed up my accounts like entirely. Their servers are so different once you get funded. It's like impossible to make profit scalping. I don't know how it is now. Or right now it's still kind of crappy because you guys have seen my profits. Actually, I do know because you see my profit difference here. Like from yesterday, you guys saw that I made it like 1,000 on my main account, and then I made like negative 500 on my TFF because their live servers are like way different. They're not like the challenge servers. But I don't know. It is what it is, right? You can't make any changes to these funded companies. That's why I don't recommend anything aside from FTMO. If you guys max out your FTMO, MFF is probably the second option. but you guys can see here that there's still slippage, right? So I made 1,500 on my FTMO number one, 1,300 FTMO number two, but my MFF still gave me only 810. So there's still slippage and there's still execution issues with MFF and TFF. They're not as bad as TFF, but yeah, unless you guys have maxed out your allocation on FTMO, I don't recommend doing anything else. Patricia over here sent in her profits, total profit of 2,625 for the day, all wins, no losses. Nice work, Patricia. Pretty much stacked up those buys and locked them in. Andreas over here as well, all wins on his account too, total profit of 418 for the day. Nice work, Andreas. And then we've got Kenny over here. Kenny, total profit of 300 for the day. Nice work, Kenny. And I think that's it for right now. So let me go ahead and take a screenshot of my profits, guys. There's no entries here on the shorter time frames yet. We're still waiting for a confirmation of retracement, which we don't have yet. News is going to come up in about 8 minutes, so we'll probably have to wait for that to pass before we can look for entries here. Breakout 2.0 is still running in profit, guys, almost at full TP. Let me just set an alert there so I can give you guys an update when it does hit. I'm not in this position, so it doesn't, I don't have a stake in it, but for you guys who are in the position, I'll give you guys an update once it hits. Just make sure you move your stop loss in profit. You know, at this point, you're in profit how many pips? At this point, you should be in profit like well over 800 pips. So like, it wouldn't make sense for you not to at least, I would just pull out of the position, honestly, because you're like so close to your TP and we have news coming up at 7. I would just pull out in profit. I'd be happy with 800 pips because you're only 200 pips away from your TP. And you have like a lot of this uncertainty coming up with news coming up shortly. So if you guys are still in that position, I would do one of two things: either trail your stop, move your stop loss in profit, or just pull out in profit because you're not so far from your TP. Like your TP is right here. You're away from like 200 pips. I'd rather take like if I was using so say for example, I was using 100 lot, right? Like what I'm using right now, I would be in profit 8,000 right now. So I would take 8,000 and just give the market 2,000. I don't care about the extra 2,000 at that point. It's like it becomes a pride thing because you don't know what's going to happen at 7 o'clock. So if you guys are in that position, you know, a couple options there that you guys can run through. If not, it's okay. You guys can always hold on to it. It's just up to you guys. Well, you know, whatever you guys want to do about it. It's a little different for me because when I trade, I take bigger lot sizes. So I have to be more cognitive, like I have to be more aware of my risk versus if you're taking a very small lot size, you know, for some of you guys, it doesn't matter. You guys probably don't care because you're only off by like a couple like pennies or a couple dollars. But for me, I'm like off by a couple thousand. So I would have to pull out if it was me personally. Let me take a screenshot of my profit so far so that you guys can see what I locked in across my accounts. All right, so let's see. Here is my FTMO. I'm hoping we get at least one official entry today because this whole week has been kind of choppy. I know yesterday we didn't have any official entries because, I mean, obviously you guys saw the market was moving. There was no entries for us to take. So I'm hoping today we get at least one entry. But again, we're not going to force anything today, right? Today's Friday. Friday and Monday are the riskiest days to trade. So it's not necessarily the best days to take unnecessary risk. Like, for example, right now we have news coming up right here at 7. It's not a good time to enter any types of trades. I do think the breakout 2.0 will hit though, eventually. Maybe not right now, but I think eventually it'll hit. Might even draw down a bit before it hits, but I think it will. Because it's looking pretty nice, pretty much on all the time frames for a buy. All right. All right, so you can see price starting to wind down a little bit. It's trying to retrace. we got that pending sell signal right here. So we have a pending sell signal right here. So possible momentum scalp failure coming up, but we have news coming up right here in 4 minutes. So it's not one that I would take. It's too close to, it's too close to news. So first, confirm overall trend. We already confirmed it's bullish. Confirm retracement momentum signal. There's a pending sell signal right here, which is a retracement signal. Once that there closes, you want to confirm volume is below average. And then once you have confirmed that, you can enter on the close of retracement. But we have news coming up right here at 7. So it's not necessarily a safe trade to take because price can spike once news happens right here. So not necessarily a trade I'd recommend taking. I'll mark it up for you guys if you guys do want to take it, because there's some of you guys who still take trades regardless of, the risk that I warn you guys about. So I'll mark it up for you guys, but I'm not going to be taking it. So just a heads up, if this here closes, I'm for sure not going to be taking this momentum scalp failure, even if it fits the criteria, because we have news coming up right here at 7 o'clock. So just want to give you guys a heads up, because I know there's some people here who like to take, they don't care about the risk. They just want to take the trade. And that's the people that I'm marking it up for. But if you want to be consistent, I'm not going to recommend anybody take this trade here. I'll follow it just so that you can see where price is going, but I'm not going to be taking it. All right, so this right here would technically be the momentum scalp failure. I'm not in this position though, guys, so don't enter this trade unless you guys understand the risk, because we have news coming up right here at 7 o'clock in the next 2 minutes. So it's going to be a super risky trade in my opinion. So I'm not in this position right here. Let's going over the requirements. First, confirm overall trend. Overall trend here is bullish on the 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute. Prices above the pivots. Trend meter is green. Pivots are angling up. Going back over here to the 1 minute. You can see here this is bullish as well, right? So first requirement here has been met, obviously. I'm trying to move this thing. All right, so the first requirement's met. Second requirement, confirm retracement momentum signal. We have a sell signal right here. Confirm volume is below average, which is right here. It's below average, right? And then you can enter on the close of the retracement momentum signal, which should be right there. So I have it set up right here, but again, guys, just a reminder, heads up, not in this position. Reason I didn't take this trade here, even though it is a good trade though. But the reason why I'm not in this trade is because we have news right here at 7 o'clock. So it's not necessarily a good entry in my opinion. But I do think it'll probably, play out eventually. It might not play out right away, but I think eventually it'll play out because we still have the breakout 2.0 playing out right here as well, right? So I'll set up a couple of alerts right here, but I just want to keep reminding you guys that I'm not in this position. So I don't want you guys to just hop into this trade thinking that I'm in it, because I'm definitely not in this position right now. You guys know how I trade. I'm very risk averse, so I don't like taking trades that are too risky. This is too risky for me because it's so close to news. This will be the scalp. There you go, full TP. So if you guys took it, it just hit the full TP right there. So this trade hit, and there was another trade that came up right after. This candle that followed it right here was the momentum scalp variation. Unfortunately, I couldn't take the trade there because, again, it was at news. But there was 2 trades that came up right there. Another one that came up right after, which was the momentum scalp failure. But this is the news candle right here. So obviously I'm not taking this trade here. I'll mark up news price. See how price is moving right here? This is way too risky. You're taking a huge gamble trading news. So that's why I wouldn't have taken, even though it would have hit your TP, if you entered late, you'd be in some massive drawdown right here. So here's a clear example of why you shouldn't trade news. Because yeah, you can get lucky, it'll hit your TP, but if you don't get out at the right time, or if you enter too late and you don't reach your TP, then you're going to be stuck in this drawdown right here. So for me personally, I've been trading for so long where I've seen this happen so many times to myself personally, where I don't like the feeling of not knowing where price is going. I only take trades when I know for sure where price is going. All right, so now that we have news marked up right there, you guys can see that momentum scalp failure hit TP. And then the next, there's still one more entry that's on its way up. It's going to be the momentum scalp if you get a buy signal. But even if you get a buy signal right here, it's going to be very risky because it's going to be at the news price right there. So let me just go ahead and post up. I was posting on my profits real quick across my account so far. I'm going to finish posting these up and then we will continue on with our analysis. All right, so here are my accounts so far. This is my main FTMO account locked in 1,360. Here's my FTMO number 2 locked in 1,560. My MFF locked in 810. MFF number 2 locked in 810. MFF number 3 locked in 810. And then my TFF account locked in 1,000. So pretty solid so far, my profits for the day. Let me mark up. So this entry right here was the momentum scalp failure. The one that happened right after it right here was the momentum scalp variation. This is the one that I would have wanted to take, but I couldn't take it because it was right at news. So looking at this here, first confirm overall trend. Obviously, it was bullish. It was bullish in all the time frames. We had momentum on the 5 and 10. Confirm retracement momentum signal, which is right here. Confirm price break and close, or price close past the pivots in retracement, which it did here. Confirm price close past pivots in correction, which it did on this entry candle. And then you enter on the close of the candle, which should be right there. So you guys can see how this strategy here, they all play out in order. So the first entry here was the momentum scalp failure, which was right here. And then the momentum scalp variation, which was right here. And then if a buy signal closes right here, this is technically going to be considered the momentum scalp, but we can't take it because it's so close to news price up here. So you guys understand how everything here plays out, right? These come out in order. So now we just got to wait for it to play out again. So whenever these come out, this is why it's a good confluence, because if this plays out and this comes up right after, this one's almost guaranteed to hit, right? So we just got to wait for the next time for this to start over again. So we're basically waiting for this pattern to start over again. I mean, technically there's still a momentum scalp that can come up, but I don't want to take it because a lot of this movement right here is going to be reaction to the news, right? News happened right here at 7 o'clock 3 minutes ago. So the last thing you want to do is enter a buy position or a sell position, any type of position. And then price is still reacting to the news, like it's going up and down, because the news from this morning was, let me just refresh it real quick. You can see it was positive for pending home sales, but everything else was neutral. So you can see price is kind of reacting to news right now, which just happened at 7 o'clock. And you really don't want to mess with like what's going on here, because the last thing you want to do is enter a trade and then price starts spiking back and forth. And then at that point, you know, you end up getting stuck in this position that you want to be holding on to. So you just gotta wait for it. I'm gonna wait for another. This pattern is gonna play out again. So basically, once it's done playing out here, I'm gonna wait for another sell signal, confirm it as a momentum scalp failure, and then I'll hop in on the momentum scalp variation or momentum scalp if it comes up later. So I'll mark this up here as a momentum scalp if it does close, but you guys can see how the price is moving. It keeps trying to close with the buy signal here, but it keeps failing. It tried to close with a buy signal down here. It tried to close with a buy signal up here, and it just wouldn't close, right? It just kept going back and forth. So again, as I mentioned, this is technically a momentum scalp entry, but I'm not looking to take this yet. Maybe I'll look to take this for a late entry if it retraces down a little bit, but I'm not ready to take this right here. I'm going to wait for price to stop reacting to news because it's too close to news price right now. But this right here would technically be a momentum scalp entry. It's basically closing out the pattern here. The pattern started with the momentum scalp failure. It followed up with the momentum scalp variation. Now we have a buy signal here. It's going to close out with the momentum scalp. So yeah, it just looks a little risky because price is still reacting to the news, which is right here. I'm worried that price might come back down, retrace, and retest the news price, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'll leave this set up here. And then if price comes down here and then shoots back up, then I'll set a buy stop right here. So that when it does push up, I can catch, you know, the continuation up, because I'm still waiting for the breakout 2.0 to hit, which I do think will hit. That's too late for me to make entry. Okay, so the breakout 2.0 just hit full TP. I was trying to set that buy stop there if it was going to retrace down, but it didn't retrace down far enough. If price came down a little bit, like right here, I was going to put a buy stop there, and I was just going to let it trigger my order. Because I do think it's going to hit. It's just too risky of a move for me from my analysis. I still see price reacting to news, and fuck, I missed the trade. Maddie caught it. But yeah, so this is the pattern, right? You guys can see, usually this one right here is in full TP, of course. This one here is the first one that comes up. And then these two, usually if they follow up, they're almost guaranteed to hit. Like I don't think we've lost one trade taking these here, as long as they all line up. So that would have been a nice entry, but it's okay. I'm not going to FOMO into that move there. I was waiting for it to retrace down and never retrace down. But you guys can see here. So this is an example of a trifecta of strategies. So this is why I apply only these three strategies, because they all complement each other, right? If you guys can see the first entry right here, if you take this one right here, you maybe have like a lower chance of it hitting. But if you follow up with the next one, which should be the momentum scale variation, this is like the all-time like best one to enter on, because you're like right down the middle. This one's kind of late because price starts to kind of die down a little bit, but this is the pattern here that plays out. This one here is risky. This one here is probably the best one to enter because you get perfect entry and you get volatility if it continues with this one. And then this one over here is a little risky because price is already pushed up so much. So if you measure this from down here, price was from down this point. See how price already pushed up 750 pips or 75 points? At this point, price is due for a retracement, right? That's why I was waiting for it to come down, but it never came down. It just ended up blasting right through it. So it's all good. We'll wait for the next one. Same pattern. We're just going to wait for it to retrace again. So we're looking for a sell signal to come up, and we're going back to the first strategy right here, right? Once this comes up, we'll look for this one right here. And then after this one, we'll look for this one. It was just too close to news price, so it wasn't a good area for me to trade in. If there was no news right here, I would have for sure taken all these entries. I would have taken, or maybe I would have taken these two. But news price was just too close. Kind of threw us off there for a second. All right, so if you guys are in the breakout 2.0, this just hit full TP, 1,000 pips. Make sure to pull out of that position, move your stop loss and profit. If you're still in the position here, I do recommend moving your stop loss and profit to the full TP here, and then you could go ahead and ride it longer if you'd like to. But I would personally just pull out because you're in profit already. 1,560 or 1,600 pips. So yeah, breakout 2.0 hit for today. All three strategies here hit full TP, momentum scalp failure, momentum scalp variation, and then the momentum scalp. I'm looking for this to set up again so that I can take it on the next entry. But if it doesn't come up, then I'm not going to force anything. All right, so let's look at everyone's profits so far. So let's see, Patrick over here posted his profits. Slava as well. So Slava actually took the entry here. Let me scroll up real quick. Patrick over here locked in 1,576. He actually took those buys there that I marked up. So as you guys can see, there's still people in the group who take these trades, even though I tell you that it's risky. Some people just still take them anyways. That's why I mark them up. Patrick over here said he trailed the 2.0, double dip back in after the pullback. Total profit of 1,576 for the day. Nice work, Patrick. We have Slava over here. He hopped into those trades as well. Total profit of 1,787 for the day on this account. Nice work, Slava. Patrick over here, he said he took the, okay, so Patrick took the momentum scalp entry right there. Took full TP on that. You can see the green strip. Total profit of 2,886. Nice work, Patrick. So if you guys took it, great. If you guys didn't, it's okay. You know, I considered it risky. I didn't even take it myself. But I'm glad to see a lot of you guys here still made a lot of profit on that trade. Narith over here as well took pretty much all the entries. Total profit of 7,105 for the day. Nice work, Narith. So you guys can see the patience here pays off. If you guys can wait for these entries to come up and these setups, you'll pretty much have straight wins for the entire day. I know, Maddie, right? Patricia over here as well. So Patricia's first account locked in a total profit of 4,150. It looks like she moved her stop loss and profit a little too early right here, and she got caught in some slippage. It looks like it should have been all wins, but it's all good. It happens sometimes. Still total profit of 4,150 for the day, Patricia. Nice work. And then Patricia's second account over here, total profit of 5,160. These should have been all wins as well, but it looks like right here she got caught in some slippage, which is all good. It happens sometimes. So solid profits right there. And then we have Rashida over here. Nice work, Rashida. Total profit of 440 for the day. All wins, no losses. She took these buys over here. It looks like she took a partial breakout there, or not partial breakout. It looks like she took the momentum scalp variation, momentum scalp failure, and the momentum scalp right here. So really nice entries right there, guys. Let's see. We have CSUK over here, total profit of 3,053 for the day, all wins as well. Looks like the timestamps line up with the entries that just played out. Sisuk right here, he took the momentum scalp again, total profit of 4,203 for the day. So Sisuk. And then Maddie over here took the momentum scalp, total profit of about 1,000 on this account. So solid work right there, Maddie. Scrolling down a little bit, we have already marked up Kenny's over here. We have Maria over here. She took one trade, locked in a total profit of 124. That's the first one. And then Maria took another trade here, same lot size, but she locked in a little less due to slippage. Total profit of 186 for the day. Nice work, Maria. Maddie over here, 1,000 for the day. And then Vincent over here said, nice analysis, locked in a total profit of 71.61 for the day. Nice work, Vincent. All right, guys, so we have the setup setting up again right here. This is a momentum scalp failure. If it closes, this is going to be a setup for momentum scalp failure as long as the volume here is below average. So we need a sell signal and we need volume here to be below average. Again, as I'm going to remind you guys, I don't typically take the momentum scalp failure. I'll look for a momentum scalp variation after it. But I'm probably not going to take this one by itself because I always find this to be the riskiest one because you're kind of taking this in a counter trend direction. So we need that sell signal to close, which it didn't. Sell signal didn't close. No entry for that just yet. Yeah, Sam said, I think that big push we had was due to American Express up 9%. Yeah, I know a lot of companies are releasing their earnings today, so I'm pretty sure that probably had something to do with it. Let me check my stocks. Yeah, it's probably just that because the rest of my stocks are not doing the best. I mean, they're doing all right, but they're not doing the best. My JP Morgan is up a lot for the day. Some more profits over here from Justin. Justin just posted his profits. Looks like he had all wins for the day. Total profit of 1,557 for the day. Nice work, Justin. Yeah, solid profits right there. Yeah, Barack over here said, hey, Sean, doing good. Like my slow pace because certainly coming along. No Asia trades at all, just the ones on the live. So Barack over here locked in a total profit of 490 for the day. Nice work, Barack. I see your messages right here, Barack. I'll respond to you a little later once we're done with the live. All right, so still no entry here for the momentum scalp failure. We're looking for the sell signal here to close. Once it closes, that's going to be a confirmation of a momentum scalp failure. I just gotta wait for this to play out, obviously. Yeah, Keone has set out some discipline now. Once I get one profit, I close MT4. I don't want to blow my funded account. My goal is 4 accounts this year funded. Yeah, no, definitely, Keone. You've been very consistent with your profits. So like, as long as you continue to do what you're doing, I think you should be perfectly fine, right? Whenever you guys get funded, you guys got to remember what you guys did to get funded. Don't change the game up at all, because if you just continue to do that, it'll be perfectly fine. So here's a momentum scalp failure, guys. I'm not in this position because I do find this to be the riskiest one out of the 3. What I'll be looking for here is I'm looking for price to close back above it. So if price comes back above and closes above the pivots over here, then I'll be looking to take a momentum scalp variation from that point. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for here. I'm just waiting for price to close above here. I'm not in this position, guys. Just to give you guys a heads up. I typically don't take the momentum scalp failure. I look for the following entry because I do find this to be risky because you're going against the trend basically when price pulls down. I'm looking for this here to confirm because typically when this confirms, it's going to keep pushing back up. So I'm not in this one right here. I'm just waiting for it to close above the pivots, which is this green line right here. Once it does, we'll have an entry for momentum scalp variation. So let me just go back over here real quick. Everything here is bullish, right? Price above the pivots, trend meter green, pivots angling up, etc. So everything here is bullish. Second requirement, confirm momentum. It's bullish on the 5 and 10. Retracement momentum signal right here. Confirm price close past the pivots below and retracement right here. And then now we're just waiting for the correction. Once we have that correction, we can enter on the close of the candle. So I just need price to close above this area. Once that happens, I'll be solid for a for a momentum scalp variation. Thanks, Maddie. Yeah, Maddie said every time frame still seems bullish from the 1 minute to the 1 hour. Sentiment is also 64% short. Yeah, so that's a good confluence as well. So just waiting for price to close above this green line. Once it closes above the green line, that's going to be a momentum scalp variation, and I will be looking to take that specific entry there. No confirmation yet, though. Possibly on this next candle. Let's see. Not this one yet. I don't think there's any other news coming up today there. Let me check the news real quick. Yeah, there's no news. There's no other news yet left over. So I think we should be in the clear if it closes above it. So we're just waiting for price to close above this green line right here. Once it closes above it, we'll have an entry for a momentum scalp variation, and I'll be hopping into that one there. But yeah, it's just gonna be a matter of time. It's got to be disciplined. Just got to wait for it. Looks like the volatility here is dying down a lot. So again, no confirmation yet. Still waiting for that there. Let's check the higher time frames. Yeah, so price just looks kind of overextended. That's why I'm kind of like cautious on like taking any entries right now, because price just looks overextended on the higher time frames, especially the 1 hour and the, I mean, pretty much all of them. 1 hour, 30 minute, 10 minute right here. Price, it is rejecting off the pivot, but it's been pushing up for so long that it's due for retracement. So again, guys, I'm still waiting for price to close above this green line here. Once it closes above the green line, I'll make my entry. But I'm not in it for the momentum scalp failure right here. Not yet. Just waiting for it to close. Here, what I'll do here is I'll just take this off because I don't want you guys to think that I'm in the position. I just had that marked up right there, but I'm basically waiting for price to close above this area, this green line. So whenever price pushes back above here and closes right here, this is where I'm going to make my buy entry. So I'm just waiting for it to swing back up. Price might come back and retest the news price. This is kind of what I was looking for earlier, right? I was looking for price to come down, test news price, and then bounce back up. So we'll see where that ends up going. This is why I wasn't taking the momentum scalp earlier, because this is what I was expecting to happen. So for this entry right here, you guys remember where this buy entry came up? I was waiting for this to come down, retest, and then continue. It never came back for the retest. So like it's actually coming back for the retest right now on this specific candle. Yeah, Dijon said that he ended up closing out the momentum scalp failure with a small L. Didn't really like it. Yeah, I typically don't like this entry either, because this is like the first leg. Like basically the first leg is usually the riskiest, because you're taking the most risk on that trade, because you haven't had a confirmation that price is actually going to keep going up. It's basically the first confirmation that price is likely to go up, but it doesn't necessarily confirm anything just yet. So let's see. Price is coming back down. So pretty much just still waiting for this to close back above here, guys. Here we go as price retest the, or it's the first test actually, test of the news price. And I'm basically waiting for it to come back above here. Let's check the sentiment real quick. Sentiment is currently, let's see, 64% short. So this right here is indicating that 64% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So this is exactly what's playing out. So I'm still not in position, guys. I'm still waiting for this to come back above. If it doesn't come back above, then it's completely fine. We can start looking for some opposite trades. But this is, again, reminder why I don't take the first entry. Yeah, Will said good chance price comes back up, retesting, I think. Yeah, but it just broke right through it. So looks like it's not going to happen this time. I think eventually it'll come back up though. So eventually if we have price come back up, it'll just blast right through. But right now it's not coming up yet. So, and this is usual for Friday, right? You guys can see that price pushed up from this lower point to up here. It was due for retracement. That's why I was super more cautious on taking any buys here when we got this other entry, because price pushed up 1,500 pips. It was due to come back down. So here it is, it's coming back down. This might just come back, retest, maybe even the sessions or opening price, and then make its way back up eventually. Let's see. Let's see. So there's still nothing going on here. Let's see. Jew's asking. So Jew has a question. Jew out of the bottle. Nice name. Jew said, can you explain the news trading window that's prohibited to trade in? Like, I know it's 2 minutes before and after, but if news is at 10 o'clock, can I trade at 10:02:01? Yeah, that's, I mean, I don't know what the exact criteria it is for trading news, Jew, because I don't trade news, but yeah, that's basically what it is. So you can't exit a trade. So say, for example, you're in a position and then news spikes to your TP, right? So say, for example, you traded news over here at 7 o'clock and you already had a trade set up, and then it shoots to your TP within those first 2 minutes, then you violated the criteria. So you can't enter or exit trades within the first 2 minutes or prior to 2 minutes of news. I think that's something a lot of people don't realize. They do that so that people can't gamble on news, right? So once you're funded, I mean, I don't know what the rule is because I don't trade news, but if you were to trade news, like say, for example, you're already in a position and then price spikes your TP during news. If you're on a funded account, that violates your account because you can't trade news unless it's allowed for your broker. So that's how the news requirement works for, I believe, FTMO. But if you're trading US30, I don't think there's any restrictions. The only restriction is like holidays and weekends. Yeah, exactly. Charles said that's why he uses the swing account, lower margin, but no rules like that. Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, it's either you don't trade news or you have a swing account. That's how you can get around it. And I blew an account that way. So that's how I knew. Well, I didn't blow an account, but I violated an account that way. So I know from experience trading news. So I don't recommend trading news at all if you're on a regular account. See, Maddie said might test sessions and open price. Yeah, no, it could, Maddie. So looking over here now on the 1 minute, it's no longer bullish, right? Price is now below the pivot. So there's no confirmation of bias here for a bullish confirmation. Price is actually bearish here on the 1 minute now. So the 5 minutes still bullish, 10 minutes still bullish. 1 minute over here is bearish now. So we don't have a confirmation of trend. So until we have a confirmation of trend, we can't even take any entries here. So I'm hoping we could get at least one official entry today. If we don't get an official entry, then we might have to just sit out for today. Well, I mean, I already made my profit for the day with that speculative move, so I'm not like super deep or inclined to take anything. But of course, I would want to take at least one official entry. I think one official entry a day is pretty solid. I mean, there were a couple of official entries here, but not ones that I took. Some of you guys here did take it, but it'd be solid if we could have one that we could all take together. Here's Dejan. Yeah, Dejan took a small loss on his. It's not bad. You'll bounce back from it, Dejan. So guys, just a reminder, this here is the riskiest. This here is probably the safest. And this here is probably the second riskiest. The reason for that is because this is the initial move. So this is the initial move for this is the first leg of the move to the direction of the trend. This right here is a confirmation. And then this right here is a follow-up. So this right here is risky because this doesn't confirm that price is actually going to go in that direction. It's just the initial confirmation. This one over here is the confirmation after the initial move. So this right here is likely to hit for sure. This one over here is the second riskiest because price is already overextended by this time, right? Because if you're going for 250 pips here and 250 pips here, price is already pushed over 500 pips. So from that point right there, it has pushed another 250 pips to hit a TP for here, which should be a 700 pips total, which is a really big move for a 3-leg push. So just keep that in mind, guys. Yeah, Maddie said one official entry day is 1% a day, which is a lot. Yeah, if you guys can do 10 official entries, then you're pretty much set because that's going to get you funded at the end of the day. Let's see if there's anything else here. Yeah, Maddie said usually there are 2 official trades a day. Yeah, and I agree 100%. I just saw your message, CT. Yeah, no. So we technically have, let me see if I can. Actually, there's no buy signal. So I think there's sell signals here now, or they're pending. All right, so if you get a buy signal right here, I mean, this wouldn't meet the criteria because the 1 minute is not bullish. But I was checking to see if the momentum is still here on the higher time frames, which they are. Check a couple of things here. It's 7:30 right now, so we still have some time. All right, Rashida said the 10-minute and 5-minute created double bodies. Yeah, I see it right here, Rashida, now. Reversal pattern right there, right? See, that's one thing that you guys could have anticipated too. Like seeing the double body right here, this is a reversal pattern. If you would have seen that over here earlier on the 1 minute, you could have assumed that price could have possibly reversed on you. I didn't even bother to look at that earlier, but yeah, you can see right here, this would have been a hint that probably not a good time to make entry for the momentum scalp failure right there. But again, there's no confirmation here. Looking over here on the 5, we currently have a sell signal. So since we have a sell signal right here, there's no confirmation of momentum. So you need momentum on all 3 timeframes to, or these 2 timeframes at least, for the momentum scalp variation and for the momentum scalp. We just don't have that yet. All right. So looks like volatility here kind of died down a bit. I'm just looking at all 3 timeframes right now. There's not really much movement going on. I know there's a buy signal here, but this won't meet criteria for momentum scalp because there's a sell signal right here. There needs to be a buy signal on all timeframes in order for you to take a momentum scalp. So this right here is not going to be a valid entry. Yeah, volatility has died down a lot. I was hoping it would keep pushing so that we can at least have one entry, but it looks like the volatility here has just pretty much died down a lot. It's not really moving anymore. It's going sideways, which is kind of early. It's 7:30 right now. I was expecting some more push until maybe at least 7:40, 7:50, but right now it's kind of died down. So it's going to take it easy. However, looking over here on the higher time frame, still bullish. So it's bullish here on the 10, bullish here on the, or sorry, bullish on the 1 hour, bullish on the 30-minute. But the shorter time frames over here are starting to shift down. So we had a sell signal here on the 5, sell signal here on the 10. You know, target price point might be over here. The opening price might come back for a retest of the opening price. There's no guarantee it's going to happen, but looking over here, if this starts to shift, so I think that the main indicator here to look at would be the 10-minute. If you get a sell signal here on the 10, price may retrace down a little further, but there's no confirmation right now because this here is still bullish. This here is still bullish, but this here is bearish now, or it's neutral bearish. But it's not really doing too much. You can see here on the 1 minute, if I maximize this, there's like literally nothing going on here now. It's price just going sideways. So nothing to work with right now. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Guys, just a reminder, we're doing the orientation for the mentorship next month on Sunday. So if you guys are new here, I mean, it's open to everybody. If you guys want to sit in on the orientation, it's going to be Sunday at 3 p.m. I'll post the link in pretty much all the groups. So if you guys want to sit in on it, you guys are more than welcome. If you guys are not part of the mentorship, you guys can still sit in on the mentoring sessions. The only difference from being part of the mentorship, guys, is that we'll be doing our normal mentorships on Monday. And then throughout the week, whenever the people who are in the group want to host another session, we'll be hosting multiple sessions throughout the week. So I'm pretty much making myself available, you know, all of February. So yeah, if you guys want to sit in on it, I'll be posting the Zoom link in the premium groups, and then it'll also be live streamed to YouTube. So, you know, whether you guys are in the group or not, it'll be available to you guys as well. Let's see. C Trader said, for some reason, my bullish momentum signal on the 1 minute is gold. It's not gold on mine. Oh, this one right here. Check your settings. You know, I think mine over here might be a little off. Yeah, check your settings, Sam, because maybe your settings are off on here. Like, go to your time frame and make sure that your settings are proper, because it should be. You might be on a different broker too. Okay, Forex.com. I just changed it to Forex.com. I think maybe let me just change it on here too. I mean, that might be the case. This might be the broker. No, actually, that looks fine. Wait, why? So Sam, so if you look at your message above, oh wait, are you on? I thought you said gold. You're on gold asset. So are you on gold or YM? Let me go back over here. Yeah, because I was on gold. I wasn't on YM. So going back over here, are you talking about this one right here? So which one's gold for you? Is it this red one or is it the green one? Because the settings should be fine. I mean, I don't know if anybody else is having that issue. It looks fine on mine. You might want to just, you might want to reset your trading view, because sometimes trading view lags the platform, and you might need to close out of it and reopen it, because I've seen that before on other people's screens. Yeah, I don't know. Does anybody else have a gold bar here? Justin's gold too. I don't know. It's weird. And you guys are all on YM. Yeah, I don't know what's the here. The main thing I can see is that is yours gold too, Natasha? So what I'd recommend is just go over here and reset the set, or go back to the setting. Make sure it's 5 and 10. Make sure it's in this order, because I think if you put it in the other order, okay. So you guys probably have it in the wrong order, or you guys probably have it just set to 10. Because if you have it set to 10, I can see it changes to gold there. But I change it back to 10 and 5, and it looks fine on mine. I mean, I don't know what the issue could be. The only time I see it change to gold is if I have it set to 10 only. I mean, either way, if I have it 5 and 10, it's still green. And if I have it set to 10 and 5, it's still green as well. So I'm not sure. It seems like it might be a connection issue. You guys might want to either reset your internet connection or close out of your TradingView and reopen it. Because I know TradingView has been having a lot of problems with their updates lately. Yeah, no, try to okay, so Justin's settings were a little off. His was at 1 and 5. You should set yours to 5 and 10. Change yours to 5 and 10, Justin, and then let me know if it's still the same or if it's fixed. It should fix it if you change it back to 5 and 10. Yeah, Sam, okay, so Justin's is fixed. So it looks like Sam is the only one with an issue here. I think it might be your connectivity issue, Sam. It might just be stuck on that. So what you might want to do is just close out of your TradingView and then reopen it. Or you can reset your internet and then do the same thing, close out of TradingView and reopen it. Okay, so it looks like it's fixed for everybody. It looks like it's fine for Justin and Natasha. Looks like Sam's the only issue with the gold bar now. I don't know if anybody else has that issue. But I know the only thing I can think of is if the settings here are off. So I think the main thing would probably just be the platform might be glitched at the moment. Yeah, I'm not sure what else could be the issue for that. Man, this market sucks. I was waiting for something to happen, but there's like nothing happening right now. I'm still waiting for this to swing back up. The 1 minute has a pending buy signal here, but there's no confirmation of trend. So we're waiting for the 5 here to get a buy signal as well for us to have something, but there just isn't anything there. And it's actually played out right here. So you guys see earlier, I marked up the analysis for this to come back and retest opening price. So it came back, tested opening price, and then now it's pushing back up. So maybe this might be the correction that we're looking for or waiting for, basically. Yeah, Sam said mine's fixed after changing it to 5, then 10. It might have just been the connection was probably just glitched there, but when you updated it, it fixed it. Yeah, no, yeah, just make sure it's in order. But I've only seen that happen with a couple people, Sam. So like with some people, they told me the same thing, but for me, it doesn't make a difference. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's just me or anybody else, but so even if I put it backwards, 10 and 5, it still works for me. But I've heard from other people that they had issues too. So I would just recommend putting it in order. I think that typically fixes it for most. All right, cool. So that solution is fixed, Sam. If there's any other questions, guys, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Just keep in mind that this indicator is going to be, well, not the indicator in general, but this gold bar is going to be a little glitchy at times, especially if you're on the higher time frames, because sometimes you'll get a gold bar because there'll be a pending signal on these higher time frames as well. So say, for example, we have a pending buy here, but it's not closed yet. And then we have a buy here, and then you get a buy signal here. It's going to come up as gold, obviously, right? Because that's what the indicator does. It gives you a gold signal whenever it aligns across all the time frames. So that's why it's a little hard to have indicators like this. And this is why it took us a while to put together, because it does get a little glitchy when there's a pending signal on like multiple time frames. All right, 7:40 right now, guys. We have about 20 minutes till 8. Unfortunately, I don't see anything coming up right here. Volatility is pretty much died down quite a bit right now, so I'm not expecting too much. So if you guys have any questions, always feel free to put your questions in the chat. Otherwise, it's just going to be another waiting game until we can get a confirmation of direction here. Yeah, there just isn't anything for us to confirm. All right, let me see if there's anything else here for us to look at. I mean, there's nothing here for us to take because there's no confirmation of trend. Price looks like it's attempting to shift. So looking over here on the 5 and 10, I mean, price is still bullish on these time frames, but the 1 minute over here is obviously bearish. Now price is now below the pivots on the one. So you can see there's no alignment of direction. So 10 minute over here is bullish because price is above the pivots. Pivots are angling up and the trend meter is green. Same with the 5 minute over here. Price is above the pivots. Trend meter is green. The pivots are angling up. And then lastly, over here on the 1 minute, you can see here that price is not aligned in the same direction as these two. These two are bullish. This right here is bearish. Higher time frames over here, everything here is still kind of bullish as well. So looking over here on the, all right, so I think the thing to look out for would be this right here. So right here on the 1 hour, you can see price is rejecting off the pivot. I think if this 30 minute right here closes with a rejection off the pivot as well, I think price will continue to push up. Same with the 10 over here. So I think this would be the confluence here. But the problem with this is that once this does close, it's going to be 8 o'clock already. So there's not going to be any room for entry. So this confluence here won't even be of use to us because by the time this confluence confirms, it'll be 8 o'clock and we'll be done trading for the day. About 10 minute over here is starting to push down pretty heavy. If this is the case, then we might be able to look for at least maybe one sell on the way back down, but I don't know if there's any confirmation for that yet. Because right here on the 10, you can see price is starting to drop below the pivots, but it hasn't closed yet. In order for us to have entry, we need price to actually be like pretty below here. We need price to be below the pivots. Pivots need to be angling down. Trend meter needs to be red. I don't think we have enough time until 8 o'clock for that to actually confirm. It's 7:43 right now. So once this candle here closes, it's going to be 7:50. And then the next candle that closes after, it's going to be 8 o'clock. So Maria said, hi, have a nice weekend, everyone. Yeah, definitely. So we'll see you back here on Monday, Maria. Looks like a handful of you guys already called it a week. Let's see. Karen's asking next week is NFP, right? If next week, yeah, I think next week is the first week of February. So yes, it's going to be NFP. So next week, guys, on Friday, I'm going to be leaving on vacation to Cabo San Lucas. So I'll be in Mexico on Friday. I do plan on having the live session. I might have to cut out a little early because my flight is like right at the end of the session, like at 9. So I got to run to the airport right after. And it's an international flight, so I got to be there kind of early. But on Monday, I'll be trading while on vacation. So I'll still be in Mexico on Monday. So I'll be trading with you guys Monday from the resort. So I think that'll be interesting. I usually make the most profit when I'm on vacation. So I think, I mean, we'll see what happens. If you guys remembered a couple months ago, I was in Hawaii. So I was trading there. I was waking up like at 3 a.m. to trade with you guys. And I was making the most profit because I was able to focus on the trades because I wanted to go out and do stuff. So I was super focused on my trades, made my profit, and I called it a day, and I made like so much profit in that 1 week. So I'll be doing the same here. We'll have a live session while on vacation on Monday. On Friday, I'll be trading with you guys live here from my office. And then Monday we'll be trading from over there. Hopefully the internet connection's good. It should be good, but we'll we'll see where that ends up. Yeah, no problem, Gary. I'll see you back here on Monday if you're gonna be logging off for the day. Maddie said, where are you gonna be flying out of? I'll be flying out of John Wayne. So the airport right next to my place. I'll be flying out of here. So it's gonna be, yeah, it's solid. I mean, I'm pretty close to the airport. Yeah, no, I don't like flying out of LAX. It's a hassle. The only problem with flying out of John Wayne is that you have to have there's always a layover because we don't fly direct most of the time. There's like a layover in Phoenix sometimes. It's not too bad. I think I'll be there for like an hour. Yeah, Dejan sit in Cancun with the Lakers. Yeah, no, I was thinking about going to Cancun, but Probably just made more sense for the specific trip. Yeah, C6 said hoping the internet connection Cabo rocks. No, I hope so too. I think it should be fine enough to like at least do the live session like once. All right, 1 second, guys. All right, guys. So price is dropping pretty heavy right here. All right, so price is dropping below the pivots over here, guys, but it does not look like it's going to confirm and close by 8 o'clock. So we still have, we don't have that much time. It's 7:47 right now. I'd recommend if you guys are satisfied with your profits for the day and for the week, I would just wrap it up for the week, guys, because it's not necessarily worth the risk to take something right now as we get closer to 8 o'clock. Price might be shifting below, but there's no confirmation that it's going to stay below there, right? We would need price to actually stay below here and remain below here for us to switch our bias to a sell. So price is below, but we don't know if it's going to stay below here. So we need the 10 minutes to do something like this. We need price to drop below like it did here, retest and continue. But until we have that, there's no real confirmation that price is actually going to stay below here. Like this can easily just shift right back up. And that's something that you guys want to avoid, especially if you're not really confident with the continuation of drop right here. So I think price might be dropping from like now until next week. And then NFP on Friday will probably spike price right back up. Or there's a lot of news next week. So we have NFP next week. Let me check the calendar. Yeah, on Tuesday, we have Chicago PMI, consumer confidence, basically a lot of inflation news. Like basically all the biggest economic news is coming out next week. Wednesday, we have ADP non-farm employment change, manufacturing PMI. Thursday, we have unemployment claims, prelim non-farm productivity. And then Friday, obviously, we have NFP. So we got a lot of news coming up next week. Let's see, Jonathan said, have a great weekend. Have a great weekend, everyone. I'm out. So Jonathan, yeah, definitely. We'll see you back here on Monday. Maddie's out too. See you on Monday, Maddie. Yeah, Dijon said Rio next. Sorry, guys. And dogs. Yeah, no, definitely, John. I want to go to that one place. Yeah, you've probably seen it. It's called Ekaret. It's like that huge park where they have like, it's like a bunch of parks like connected to one big hotel. I think that's the next trip for me. We'll probably have a trip out there, Maddie. So if you guys, who else is here? See, CT still here. Yeah, CT, that's what I was thinking. So, and a lot of you guys are aware of like the prop firm that we're starting up. I think that should be where our meeting should be. CT. Is Kip here too? C6 still here, right? Yeah, C6 still here too. So if you guys remembered, or if you guys have probably heard, we're starting up a prop firm, but this is like a legit prop firm where we like actually like mentor you guys and train you guys how to. This isn't for everybody. We're going to be hand selecting a few traders to trade for us, so we can all make a lot of money together. But yeah, for the main mentors here, I think we should have a trip out there in Ekaret and Rio. I think it'll be a fun little vacation spot for us to really regroup and you know, start everything out. Yeah, so that's definitely one place that's in mind. It's a super expensive hotel, but it's super nice. It's like super inclusive. I think it's like, you know, like 2,000 to 5,000 a night. Should be pretty dope. But it's cool. It's like a huge resort connected to a bunch of these different parks. So yeah, a lot of exciting things coming this year, guys. Just a heads up to, you know, once we start the prop firm, we're no longer going to be allowing people to sign up to the group. If you guys are in the group already, nothing's going to change. You guys are perfectly fine, but nobody new is going to be able to sign up. The only people who can apply our strategies are going to be people who trade for our firm, because obviously we don't want everybody applying our strategies. So if you guys are here, you guys are perfectly fine. Nothing's going to change, but we should not, it's not going to be open to the public anymore, where people can just sign up and use our strategies. So if you guys know anybody that wants to use these strategies, you know, just have them sign up. Just don't cancel. If you guys cancel, there's no way to sign back up. So just an FYI. Yeah, exactly, Frederick. Yeah, Frederick said JWA is super well located next to your residential settlements. Should be easy to get with. Yeah, no, I live like right next to it, Frederick. I could like walk there if I wanted to. I mean, not really walk there, but if I really needed to, I could. Yeah, I probably live like 5 minutes away from it, so I'm pretty close. So I can have a live session with you guys here on Friday, and then I'm gonna just jet off to the airport right after. Yeah, Dejan said, I think I'll have to think about the trips and stuff after I pass this challenge. Yeah, no, exactly. So like for the mentorship for next month, guys, I'll explain to you guys how to treat this like a business, right? So that you guys can pretty much go on these trips and travel and pretty much kind of use these as like a business expense. That's kind of like why we're having the meeting in like these in these places. Right. So like that's the reason why a lot of these companies have meetings in like a lot of these tropical places, because you guys can have, it can be considered a business meeting and you can pretty much write off the entire trip. So like if we make a lot of money from profits, instead of paying taxes, we get to go on these cool trips with our traders. Anyways, so there's nothing for us to take right now, guys. If you guys have any questions, you know, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Otherwise, I don't think there's anything we can take here, because price is shifting to the bottom side right here on the 10 and 5. However, we don't have a confirmation that price is going to continue dropping in this direction. It's 7:53 right now, so we have about 7 minutes till 8. Price will be retracing up slightly and come back down. That's going to be like for an entry for momentum scalp failure, but not necessarily anything for us to really dig into right now. Yeah, no, definitely. So CSUK over here posted his profits. He's currently up 5,403 for the day, all wins, no losses. Nice work, CSUK. So solid work right there. Patrick over here said small day today, but profit is profit. So Patrick over here locking a total profit of 500 for the day. Nice work, Patrick. And then we have Zach over here. Zach said, no trades for me today. Thanks for being on today. Catch you next week. Definitely, Zach. Have a great weekend. See you back here on Monday. Rashida said she caught the move back down. Total profit right here is 1,090 for the day. Nice work, Rashida. Yeah, so she caught that as it swung down. A little risky, but you know, you did make some pretty good profit off it, so that's all that matters. But yeah, guys, if there's any other questions that you guys have, you know, feel free to put them in the chat, and I'll go ahead and answer whatever you guys have before we call it a week. So Geary said, when will that happen, Sean? So there's no timeline for our prop firm to start. I mean, we want to start it by the end of this year. The prop firm that we're starting is not going to be like FTMO. It's not something that you can just sign up to. We're hand selecting our traders, because the thing is, I'm going to personally mentor you guys, or well, I'm personally mentoring. So for example, if you guys have been in the group for a while and you guys have been sending profits, that you guys are consistent, then you might get an invitation to our prop firm. It's a traditional prop firm though, so it's not something you can just sign up for, pay for, and then do. For this, we're hand selecting you because you're going to be trading my capital. And I want to make sure that you're basically trading exactly how I am. So, you know, the more money you make, the more money I make, we all win. And we'll have our mentors here also mentoring you guys individually. So like basically we're all going to be applying the same exact strategy. We're all going to be locking in like, you know, 1 or 2 trades a day. So like, for example, here, you guys saw my profits for the day, right? So I locked in about like 1,300 to 1,500 per account here on my FTMO. So say, for example, there's 5 of us, right? There's me plus CT plus Kip plus Maddie plus Sisu. That's 5 people right there, right? So you got 5 people right here who are locking in 1,560, right? Times 5. So each of us together, we'd be locking in about like 7,800, right? Say, for example, we have like 5 other people below us. So doing the same exact thing. We're all applying the same strategies. We're all locking in X amount of profit. So for a day, if we're all locking like at about 1,560 times 10 people, we could lock in 15,600 altogether as a team. From there, we can split profits and we all are happy, right? So that's the difference between this type of prop firm and like FTMO or any of these other prop firms. Because the thing with FTMO is like they'll let you do your own strategy and you guys can, it's really up to you how well you do. For our prop firm, you guys can't make mistakes. Like you're gonna be doing the same thing we're doing. We're all gonna be helping each other. So we're all gonna be making profit and then we'll be splitting the pot with each other at some point. So that's, the next step for us. We don't have a timeline for that, but we're hoping to have it done by the end of the year. So, just be on the lookout. You guys can't apply for this prop. Like you guys can't apply for anything. There's no way to improve there is a way to improve your odds of being chosen. If you guys send me your profits every day, like I already have an idea of who I'm going to invite to my prop firm, right? You can see here, like Patrick, he's profitable almost every day. Sisuk over here, obviously, that's why Sisuk's a mentor. Look how much he wins. He's like consistently profitable every single day, right? Barack over here, if you continue to do this, Barack, you might be chosen. Justin, everyone here is all wins, right? If you guys can show me that you're consistent, you can follow directions and just have all wins every day, like Rashid over here, all wins, right? If I think you're up to the caliber to trade, my capital, then I'll choose you, because obviously I want people who are consistent so that the more money you make, the more money I make, right? We both win here. And we're all going to be applying the same strategy. So like, there's no room. It's impossible for you guys to screw up, because if we're all applying the same strategy, if we're all winning, we're all winning. If we're all losing, we're all losing. So, and most of the time we're all winning because we don't really lose very many trades. So, it's exciting because we all get to win and we're all on the same goal here. It's kind of like what we have here as a community already, except everybody's like on point. Like, for example, we're only going to be applying momentum scalp variations, right? Because this is what I know always hits. So if we're waiting for this every single day, all of us are waiting for this one entry. Once we take it, we all profit off it, and it all goes into like one pot. And at the end of the month, like say, for example, you make like 15,000 a day, right? Times 5 days a week. That's only from one trade. That's like 78,000 a week times 4. That's like 312,000 a month, right? If we can do 312,000 a month and then we divide that across amongst each other, right? Like between 10 people, that's 31,000 each per person. And then the group just grows from there. So, it's the next step for K2 and for Kodi Kai. Because the thing is, like, I'd rather teach you guys how to trade and then make money off trades versus selling you guys a product. Like, I'd rather not sell you guys anything, and I'd rather just make money trading with you guys, and then we split the profits from there. I think that's a better way to do it, because I'm not trying to be like some trading guru here trying to sell you some strategy. I'd rather like get you guys to that level where you can trade like me, and then we all benefit from it. Yeah, no, definitely. Frederick's asking, Sean, have you ever been in Nairobi? I've never been. I've heard of it though. Definitely would like to check it out at some point. Frederick's asking, sorry guys. Sorry guys, my dogs were barking. So Frederick's asking, will you give a demo? Will you give demo chances like FTMO for someone like me to demonstrate I can trade? Well, you don't really need to demonstrate you can trade for me, guys. If you guys are going to be part of my prop firm, you guys have to apply my strategy. So you have to show me that you can actually follow directions, right? The thing here is, like, you don't have to know how to trade. That's why, like, I'm doing this mentorship next month. You guys know that I'm doing this mentorship for like brand new traders, basically family and friends, right? And these people have no idea how to trade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach them the strategy. And if they can follow directions, that's all that needs to be done. You don't have to know how to trade, guys. You have to know how to follow directions. If you can follow directions, you're the perfect candidate for my prop firm, because you don't have to learn how to do anything. It's all about just checking off the checklist and taking the trade. I prefer not to train people, or not have people in my prop firm who know too much, because what happens is you guys start to screw up the requirements because you start to do your own thing, right? I think that's the main problem with a lot of. Am I still on mute, Christian? I think I'm good now, right? Okay. I just saw Christian say I was on mute. I think I'm good. Okay. Yeah. So basically, Frederick's question here is, if he can have the opportunity to show me that he can trade, you guys don't have to show me you can trade at all. You just have to show me that you can follow directions. That's like literally all you have to do. Because if you can follow the directions here, sorry guys, give me 1 second. Dog's getting bark. So like I was saying, you guys don't need to know how to trade. You just need to know how to follow my directions. If you can follow my directions and apply this strategy every single day, then that's all you need to do, because this is how you'll make money, right? Following directions. If you can confirm all the requirements here, take the trade, get out of the trade and profit, not get greedy. We're only going for like 1 TP. Like if you could do 1 good trade a day and you can lock in about, how much percentage points that you need to get to that point, it adds up. So, I'm trying to create like an empire of traders that can just apply one strategy and not screw it up. And we all make profit off that. So yeah, I mean, if you guys are welcome to trade however you like, but for my firm, you have to trade the one strategy that we're trading. If you're not trading that strategy, then it's not going to be a good fit. But if you guys can follow directions, that's all that really matters. So, yeah, Sam said that to me. I do my own thing. Yeah, because you guys can see, like, using my proof of concept here, like pretty much the results from this month for this year so far. If you guys just took the official trades for this year, you guys should be in some pretty good profit, right? So if you guys can just stick to applying the whatever strategy we're applying, then you guys should be able to find success in any way possible. Yeah, no, exactly. Sam said just being honest, use your methods as a guide. Yeah, exactly. So you guys don't have to use my strategies like what Sam said. You guys can do your own thing. But if you guys want to trade for my prop firm, you're gonna have to like only apply my strategies and my strategies only, because I know they work. So that's how I'm gonna guarantee that everyone finds success trading with us, because they do work as long as you follow them properly. So all right, guys, I think that's it for today. It's 8:03. If you guys want to hear more about this mentorship and whatnot, orientation is going to be on Sunday. I'll post a link up in all the groups. So if you guys want to sit in, you guys are more than welcome to sit in. Not everyone's going to be invited to the prop firm, as I mentioned. We're starting off with maybe like 5 to 10 people, and then from there we'll scale up. So, and I also got to meet with like, liquidity providers so that we can have like a smooth moving firm. But no, it's exciting. This is the next step for us here. If you guys are in the group, you guys are fine. You guys can use the strategies, but yeah, the signups will be closing probably by the end of the year as we move forward with this prop firm. So, all right, guys, that's about it. If you guys have questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here on either Sunday afternoon if you guys attend the orientation, or I will see you guys on Monday for the next live session. So, all right, guys, have a great weekend. Be safe, and I'll see you guys.